something in the air tonight. There's definitely something in the air, especially around Kingman. Allergies.
Allergies are in the air.
Oh my God. It hit me like a ton of bricks this weekend.
Me too.
I was like getting like bloody noses and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we both took a little well-deserved time off because of it.
Yeah, most definitely.
I couldn't breathe. And I have to talk all day. And when you can't breathe while you're at work, it makes it kind of difficult.
Yeah, I can breathe. I just sneezing all the time and my eyes are so itchy and puffy and it's not fun.
The first few days I moved out here from Boston, like a weekend, my eyes like swelled shut because I just wasn't used to the pollen and the different dust and everything in the air around here. And I didn't really have an issue until this year, but that's because we've had an abnormal amount of rain and stuff like that. So the desert's like blooming.
I know.
Like it's
everywhere.
Like it's greener than I've ever remembered.
In the desert. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen it like this.
So, do you hear about Jerry Springer?
Yes.
That's sad.
I know. I like Jerry Springer.
Yeah, he was good. That was like white trash TV at its best.
Jerry.
How are we getting people to know if they're the father or not? You have Maury. Maury's gone. Now Jerry's gone.
Maury Povich died?
I think so.
I forgot about that then. Like that.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, he was the one that really, like all of his shows just became paternity tests.
Yeah.
There at the end of his talk show.
Or those fights where they would throw chairs.
No, yeah. Jerry Springer's were the fights, but like Maury's were like.
Oh, the paternity test
ones? Like it was always, you are not the father. You are the father.
What a trashy way to do that.
I know.
You know? Who would agree to go on TV like that?
I don't know. Do they pay him? Maybe they pay him.
I don't know.
And then they are like, okay.
It's like those judge shows that they come on in the afternoons.
Oh.
Like there's not really a settlement. Like the rulings that they make, that's not really legally binding or anything like that. It's just for show.
Yeah, no, it is. That stuff is totally acted out. Like, I was at a friend's party a while ago, and there was a woman there who said that she would do acting gigs on them. She's like, oh yeah, they like cater lunch. You get like all this good food.
So it's not even real people?
No.
I thought it was real people with stupid cases and they just get up in front of the judge.
Well, no, I guess they're real cases, but they have them like act them out to make them more entertaining than what they actually are. You know, they want them to like, kind of hype it up.
Oh, that can't make sense now.
Yeah.
And let's see, another news. Tucker Carlson, out.
You're fired.
You're fired. Which is kind of surprising because he was Fox News' main guy. I mean, he was cable news.
Out of everyone.
Yeah, out of everyone.
Yeah.
He was number one.
Yeah, number one news guy.
By a landslide.
Does it really matter? Didn't he replace some other douchebag? I thought he replaced Bill O'Reilly.
Bill O'Reilly, yeah.
Some new douchebag will replace Tucker Carlson. Because I think Bill O'Reilly replaced Glenn Beck, also a douchebag. So They just have their cycle of douchebags.
And I thought Tucker Carlson was like the progressive guy on CNN at the time. And then he moved to Fox.
He used to be on CNN.
Yeah.
But I don't think he was progressive, hasn't he?
No, he wasn't progressive. Not progressive. He was the conservative guy at CNN.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he wasn't as outlandish as he is now.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he did that stupid stare into the camera.
Oh, God. I know.
Like all confused.
Yeah. Confused and stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, both of them at once, looking both of those.
I mean, there's many theories on why he got fired. He called one of the executives the C word
Yeah.
in those emails.
I heard that. And he was like proud of it too. He's like, no, I want her to know who it came from.
Yeah, and anti-Semitic comments. There was something where he got up in Florida at some conservative meeting and he was spouting all this stuff like he was like the Messiah and stuff like that. I think it was because he was probably drunk on Bud Light, dressed in drag, and Kid Rock tried to hit him up. You know?
Yeah.
There's a reason why they call him Tucker. You know? So, I wonder where it'll end up. Think it'll be like president, running for president, running for office, vice president.
Some people have said that. Some people think that like he'd run for president or he'd be Trump's running mate, or they've said a bunch of different things. But I don't know. Does he really want to do that?
Who knows? I think he can do more what Joe Rogan did and just get like this multi-million-dollar deal with Spotify and do a podcast and just put out his own stuff.
Yeah, like
that way he's not censored.
That's what Bill O'Reilly does.
Yeah.
Ever since he got fired.
Yeah. He started his own network.
He's got his own podcast.
I mean, it's not as popular and you're not going to reach the same audience.
Right.
Could you imagine like everybody trying to tune in tonight going, where's my fake news tonight? I don't have someone that's going to tell me what to be mad at.
I know. Well, aren't they having like rotating hosts until they can
for now
figure out who the new talent will be?
Who's the most? Maybe Matt Gaetz will, step down from his position and take over it. Because he'd be that kind of scumbag.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he probably gets off on being a scumbag in Congress, though.
Matt Gaetz, he's been eerily silent on this whole Bud Light thing. I haven't really heard his take on it.
I don't know. I've heard people around here, though, and I'm just like, part of me almost said something, and then I'm like, you know what? I don't care, because I was just going to say, I hate to break this to you, but Bud Light wants to sell beer. That's all they give a fuck about. Okay? I'm like, I just don't understand the people freaking out over it. It's like, if you don't want to buy Bud Light, fine, don't buy Bud Light. But, anytime the word Bud Light is brought up, it's almost like, a trigger for them.
Yeah.
They're very triggered by it.
Yeah.
And it's like a knee-jerk reaction. They're like, what? Bud Light? He was drinking Bud Light? Are you kidding me? Bud Light? Seriously?
Well, I mean, that goes to show, the mentality of these people.
I know. But I'm like, Bud Light wants to sell beer to everyone. They don't give a shit what anyone's likes are. They want to sell beer. Like, do you think they honestly gave a shit whenever Kid Rock shot up all the Bud Light cans? Fuck no, because he already bought them. Like, they're already paid for. Fine. You want to shoot our beer up? Go right ahead. You bought it.
Yeah.
We could care less what you do with it now.
Very true. I don't know. But we swapped up. We're not doing Bud Light. I'm not doing Bud Light this week. We're doing, what is it? What are we drinking this week?
It's a sour from Blackbridge.
Our friends at Blackbridge Brewery.
Mm-hmm. It's a sour goss.
But what? I can't quite get it's good. I can't quite get what flavor that is, though.
I don't know. I forgot. Because I did ask them, but I forgot what they said it was.
So, back to the whole transgender thing on it. We had this too from this Montana lawmaker. It was Carrie
Seekins Crow or something like that.
Yeah, it was Carrie Seekins Crow. Okay. And just when you think that you can't find enough scumbags, you know,
One always pops up.
I'm sorry, Republicans.
And why are they always Republican?
Yeah.
But
it's important to remember that this bill is about permanent life-altering medical procedures. And it's also important to remember we're not talking about adults. We're talking about children. One of the big issues that we have heard today and we've talked about lately is that without surgery, the risk of suicide goes way up. Well, I am one of those parents who lived with a daughter who was suicidal for 3 years. Someone once asked me, wouldn't I just do anything to help save her? And I really had to think.
Carrie looks like a Karen.
And the answer was no. I was not going to give in to her emotional manipulation because she was incapable of making those decisions, and I had to make those decisions for her. I was not going to let her tear apart my family, and I was not going to let her tear apart me because I had to be strong for her. I had to have a vision for her life when she had none, was incapable of having none. I was lost. I was scared. I spent hours on the floor in prayer because I didn't know that when I woke up, if my daughter was going to be alive or not.
Okay. Now.
But I knew that
Now, I get the whole praying thing, but when you have like a child that's suicidal, is that really going to help? Just to sit down on your knees. I spent days and hours and nights down on my knees praying, lying on the floor.
Well, I think it gives her comfort, not her child, you know. I think that's what prayer does. I mean, I know there's people who are like, that's what made it so. She probably thinks that's why my daughter is here, because of all my prayers, you know. It's like, yeah. I mean, what is she going to do? Now, her daughter's going to hear this. It's like, what is she going to do if her daughter eventually did commit suicide? It's like,
yeah.
And it's like, your daughter could do it because your daughter's like hearing now, my mom wouldn't have even fucking cared or saved me or anything. Yeah. She wouldn't do anything.
And are suicidal people really emotionally manipulative? Or are they in such a dark place in their head that they can't even think straight? They can't think outside of the family and everything else.
That it was just, how cold-hearted can you be? Like sitting there saying, I wasn't going to let her emotionally manipulate me.
Yeah. And,
what?
And if that's against your belief system, okay, yeah, but to me, it seemed like she's just using this to gain political points. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's just something that's just really private.
Well, and then the first part of it, of her saying the thing, like trying to say the statistics of the suicide rates go up if they don't get surgery. I'm sorry, I don't know that I agree with that. I think that it's if they don't get the care. Like, not all of transgender folks result in surgery. Not all of them end up getting surgery, but maybe the kid just wanted like the puberty blockers or whatever, you know? And like maybe like, you know, the counseling care that goes with it or something like that.
Yeah. Now, as far as the surgery aspect of it, I do understand that part of waiting until that you're emotionally old enough to make a life-altering decision. I understand that.
So do I, but I don't know of all these doctors out there that are performing surgery on children.
No,
like, don't make them wait until they're...
I would think so.
That's like... That's why I don't understand really
I think
everything that this woman's talking about.
I think maybe there has to be like a slight sliver of truth to it somewhere. Just like, like there's cases of abortion in the later term because of health reasons to the mother. But the argument on one side isn't that it was life-saving surgery on the mother's behalf. It was, they want to kill babies all the way up till, they're about ready to come out of the womb.
There was just, funny that you mentioned that. Did you hear about the one recently? I forget what state the woman was in, but she even spoke about it. They would not allow her to have an abortion. She had some issue that had to do with her cervix or something. There was some kind of abnormality, and so she was going to lose the baby. And they're like, the state that she lives in, the doctors were like, we can't give you this abortion. I can't remember if it was like Texas. Anyways, so they weren't allowed to give her the abortion. The baby ended up dying inside of her. So she was going septic. So they finally gave her this emergency abortion because her life was now seriously in danger. And this is a woman who wanted to have children. She wanted this child. It's just something went wrong. So now her fallopian tubes got messed up due to the sepsis. So they don't even know if she can ever have children after this now because of this, because of what they did, not allowing her to have this.
Yeah, and I don't think there'd be really that many cases where someone chooses voluntarily to have a late-term abortion.
No, it's pretty much late-term abortions. I've never heard of one where it's like, I just don't want to have this baby. It's usually, if it's the instance of the life of the mother, or they find out something's going to be seriously wrong with the baby, So, It's just sad, though. I mean, that poor woman.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. On a better note, Joe Biden's running again.
Yeah.
You riding with Biden again?
Of course. I mean, what else?
Yeah, what's the choice?
I know. Same as in 2020?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not excited about the rematch of the dinosaurs myself. There's nothing exciting about it per se. Although, Biden still does have his chops. He was up there cracking jokes at the Correspondents' Dinner the other night.
Well, and Biden, I mean, my opinion, I think he's doing a pretty good job. So, we still have inflation to deal with, but for the most part, things are good. I mean, look at the unemployment rate.
Yeah. And speaking of inflation, I was looking at, because the thing they were talking about, national debt, that's kind of a big thing in the news now because, the spending limit is coming up. And while the national debt had gone up last year, it had gone up less than in previous years. Mm-hmm. And some of the highest rates of the national spending were during the Trump years.
Right. That's what Republicans do. They spend, and then they blame it on the Democrats.
Yeah, when the other one gets in office.
Yeah.
And then now...
Well, I mean, they take responsibility for nothing. Let's not kid ourselves. They blame everything on the left.
Yeah, and so, like the tax cuts to the rich, of course, on the back side of it, you're going to be like, okay, well, we need to cut all these programs on the backside because now we have too much debt. Which, I mean, there is something to that the debt's out of control, but it seems like Biden was kind of tampering it down a little bit.
If they would just tell their donors, sorry, but you're going to have to pay taxes. But they won't do it. They won't. They're like, it's almost like they sold their soul to the devil, and they just can't,
Right. Well, and
The devil owns them?
I know, and we rag on, Republicans, not being intelligent, but no, some of them are really intelligent, and they know this. They know how to manipulate the voter. And you bring up controversies like this Bud Light thing, and you harp on that, and you start culture wars over this kind of thing. Meanwhile, we're about to go bankrupt as a country.
I know. Like probably the biggest reason why I don't trust Republicans in our government. They sit there and campaign on how much they hate the government. Then why are you trying to get a fucking job in the government? Is what I don't understand.
Right, the government's corrupt.
I'm like, then why are you trying so hard to work for the government? They're just bullshit. I mean, I just see them as bullshit artists. Like, they're liars.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the government is corrupt, in a lot of ways. When we're giving defense contracts to these businesses that charge us $400 for a hammer, you know what I mean? Yeah, there's corruption and there's payback, and people are making money, and the politicians are making money off of that, of catering to these defense companies. That's the kind of corruption that, is really going on. But, Hunter Biden's laptop, and he's bought and sold made in China. Okay, well, if you have a problem with Biden, Hunter Biden, not Joe, Hunter Biden, being paid by the Chinese government, look at fucking Ivanka. Ivanka made money off the Chinese government. Why aren't you mad about that?
Yeah, didn't she have like her voting machines or something?
Yeah, some patent for voting machines or something like that. I also heard about another one of these MAGA Republicans who's popular on Facebook or something like that. I don't know him personally, but he would sell his ultra-right T-shirts, and he was fined $216,000 because he was removing the Made in China tag and replacing it with a Made in USA tag. And you just can't do that.
Right.
So,
oh my God.
So I mean,
I'm glad he got nailed.
There's always a story like that.
I know, because he probably got sick and tired of, he's selling them, and then people are like, hey, why does this say made in China? Well, so do his hats. I mean, like, isn't all the Trump gear made in China?
Yeah, like that pizza place out in the Golden Valley. I'm sure if you went through all that cheap Trump shit, it's all Chinese.
China. Unless they've also switched labels, too.
True.
You might want to check on them if you're listening.
Yeah. Government. Listening on. Oh, fuck. Hey, the choice is, there's not a choice. It's Biden. And at least Bernie said he's not running this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't think that he would.
No. I didn't think he would either. But he's just saying, no, the alternative is just like what you're saying. The alternative is, too terrible. Because if Trump did get elected, kind of like, not we're all fucked. His supporters would be fine, but we'd be fucked. We'd be fucked.
Yeah.
He'd probably fucking he'd be like China and shut this fucking podcast down.
Oh, yeah. Anybody who didn't worship him, like, he'd shut him down.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Then we had Elon Musk went on Bill Maher.
Yeah.
Real time over the weekend. And I sort of found myself, I didn't dislike him like I thought I was going to.
Right.
I didn't necessarily like him either. I mean, he seemed more of he seemed quirky. Like I would say, like
weird,
almost autistic, like
to me. Yeah, he looked. I don't know if it was like he was really nervous at first, and it took him a while to relax, because the first part of it, like almost the whole first half of the internet, he seemed very nervous the whole time. To me, anyways.
Yeah, and you notice how I Bill Maher. I don't know what's going on with Bill Maher, but it seemed like he had such a man crush on Elon.
I know.
He didn't even wear his glasses at first.
He's all sitting there like, telling him how he's a genius and everything. And I'm like sitting there, yelling at the TV. I'm like, he didn't invent Tesla. He bought it from somebody else.
Right.
Like, what? Where is this genius stuff you speak of? I'm not saying the guy's not smart. Don't get me wrong, but genius?
You know, he kind of reminded me of. He reminded me of an autistic Tony Stark.
Oh.
He comes out with this suit jacket, the T-shirt on underneath, the cowboy boots.
Yeah, it just looks weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Tony Stark, but I'm like going, well, then is he like an evil supervillain though? Like, I don't know. Like the whole AI thing was kind of like, huh.
I liked what he did say, like that he was for at least regulations in that, Like, even though he comes across as,
well, it doesn't
get the government out of my companies, right. But, like he was saying that it needs to be regulated, or like AI will take over humans, which I don't understand how. Are they going to be so advanced that they won't even have to be powered by anything? I mean,
wouldn't they find
we wouldn't be able to just pull the plug on them, or
wouldn't they figure out a way to plug themselves in?
Yeah, but if they had no power to themselves and couldn't move, how are they going to move?
But once they power up in the artificial intelligence, now that artificial intelligence, like that Chat GPT thing, that's kind of crazy. You can just type in, "Hey, write me a essay about this," and include these facts, and you can just put it in, and within seconds you get that. It's gone to the point where they can have enough, say, music downloaded onto it, and you could have say AC/DC cover a Willie Nelson song, mm-hmm. and the computer can artificially generate that. So they have artificially generated art and stuff like that. At what time do these computers start going woke and say, though, woke, bad term? These computers wake up and go, hey, we don't really need these people telling us what to write. Machines rise up like, the Terminator.
Yeah.
You think that's plausible?
No. It all sounds like science fiction to me. I'm like, I
don't
understand it.
But did you think a few years ago that you would be able to punch a thing in and the computer would artificially generate it? Now, the thing that's going on in Hollywood right now is there's a writer's strike going on. Mm-hmm. Now, what's to stop these movie companies from just going, well, we don't need to have writers. We can just basically, punch in what our story is basically going to be about and have the computer generate the script. I mean, it wouldn't have that human touch to it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they'd be good. I don't know how good these movies would be, but...
So it's like you could have, say, like the Opie and Anthony show has been broke up for years, but there's enough audio of Opie and Anthony out there talking, enough words out there, that they could put in, Opie and Anthony have a conversation about this, and the computer could generate it, and it would be like you were listening to them. Hmm. It could happen. It's plausible.
Maybe I just think it's all stupid. I don't know.
It is kind of dumb.
I'm like, what is the point of all that? Right? What's the point?
I don't know.
I mean, are humans becoming that fucking lazy now? Where they wouldn't be able to write their own shit? And
see, what our listeners don't know is we download all of our episodes of the podcast into the computer and asked the computer Chat GPT to come up with a podcast for us, and this is what it came up with.
Yeah.
So you're not really listening to us right now.
Yeah. Okay.
With our allergy,
yeah.
Make it sound like they have allergies too. What did they call it though? Because they got on the woke thing. woke mind virus or something like that.
I know they're listening to two rich white guys on how they're such victims of wokeness and cancel culture. I'm like, first off, both of you are talking to each other on a talk show right now, so I don't think that either one of you has been canceled.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that. I realize that Bill Maher lost his
Yeah, he got
Incorrect
canceled.
show.
He actually got canceled once.
Yeah, well, long before we had cancel culture.
Right.
Long before.
Right, and that's because he talked about how, and he wasn't wrong,
Uh-huh.
about how the pilots on 9/11, they learned how to fly a plane. They didn't learn how to land a plane because that was the plan. They didn't never intended to land the plane.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about it, using box cutters to break into the cabin, which was easy before 9/11, when you think about it, it was kind of a, don't get us canceled. That was kind of a smart plan. I mean, it was horrible tragedy, but it was kind of a smart plan as far as an attack on us, because you're using all of our weaknesses against us, the lack of security, you can get that. I'm trying to remember like the days that you used to be able to just walk right up with all the other passengers and see your family off on the plane. You go right up to the gate and see your family off. I mean, it seems like it was so long ago, and it is so long ago at this point, but it's just amazing. Just amazing. But anyway, so Politically Incorrect got canceled. Legit. But Bill's up there saying, well, I get canceled every week. I'm like, no, you don't.
No, I think he was saying that they try to cancel him every week. But here's the thing, though. I'm sorry, isn't his real-time show, like, he ended up getting a better deal out of it, right? I mean,
yeah, right. In the long run,
like,
it's a better deal.
In the long run, it's like, and I guess, yes, you can say that you were canceled, but to me, it's like, if you make a comeback, you're not really canceled. You came back from it. So canceled means like, we're never going to hear from you again.
Well, that's kind of what I wish it went back to. I wish that cancel culture really was that cancel was, no, cancel, you're gone away. Like they say, Will Smith got canceled. Well, no, he didn't. He lost some movie gigs. But he didn't get canceled. Will Smith will be back again.
Right.
Dave Chappelle didn't get canceled. You can still find the special out there on Netflix. It's still there on Netflix.
Right. Yeah.
Howard Stern has been canceled. He's still got his show. Do they say controversial things and get some controversy? Sure, but they're not necessarily canceled.
I know. Like, it's like, maybe we need a straight up definition for cancel.
Yeah, but then,
culture.
but then again, if you're bitching about you're against cancel culture, then why are you bitching about Bud Light? Because you're trying to cancel Bud Light. You're doing exactly what. Now, there's a difference. If you're just not going to drink Bud Light, whatever. But you want this shit removed from the shelves so no one can have it. That's cancel culture.
Really? They're going that far?
Yeah.
So these idiots don't even realize some people are still going to be okay with Bud Light and they're still going to want to drink it because they probably drank it since they were teenagers, like they're, hello.
They're only against, cancel culture when it benefits them.
Yeah.
And hey, don't get me wrong, I'm not for cancel culture.
Neither am I.
Neither
am I. I'm like, here's the thing. I'm like, no, you do have the right to say whatever you want. But if you work for an employer that doesn't like what you say, they have the right to fire you. I mean,
yeah.
This is what I don't understand. Like, Bill Maher will get pissed. Like, he got pissed about that one gal. Remember that lady, the New York lady in the park or whatever, who she got fired for, I forget exactly what she did, but she got fired. He was all pissed off about that. It's like, her employer has the right to do that. No, none of us are saying that she should have lost her job over it, but they have the right to say, we don't want you to work here anymore. You know?
Wasn't that the lady that was yelling in the park at the other guy?
Yeah.
Because of his dog?
No, I think she was the one with the dog. And then he was there watching birds. He was bird watching.
Oh, yeah. She was yelling at him.
Yeah. I think he said something about her dog, like, you know, can you control your dog or something? And she flew off the handle and was like, you know, exerting her privilege.
Said all sorts of racist Karen stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, the other thing that got me is, you know, so this is where the supervillain of Elon Musk came in when I was thinking about it, was how he's building rockets, you know, these reusable rockets to go up into space. And he's talking about maybe, you know, trying to figure out a way to colonize Mars and stuff like that. But then when Bill Maher had brought up, you know, like water issues and stuff like that, he's like, no, we have plenty of resources. You know, that kind of gave me like the supervillain vibe. Like he's trying to say, no, don't worry about it. Plenty of resources.
When he was saying
we're not going to run out.
They were already desalinizing the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
well, actually, they are too. That's not.
Now, Elon said it was cheap though, and I've heard it's expensive.
I've heard it's expensive too. That's why it's only they're not doing that much of it yet. Is like they're doing it, but it's in like a smaller like setting. I mean, I don't know what the appropriate word would be, but they have started doing it. Maybe it's more like on a trial type basis.
I mean, if Elon fully, you know, funded backing that, I'd be like all for it. Well, thank you, Elon. Good job. I mean, there's some other ideas he has, like the high-speed train to go from, you know, Vegas to L.A. I'm all for that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because there's other countries that have that kind of stuff, you know, the high-speed trains.
Yeah. And, you know, and to what we're talking about, you know, cancel culture and stuff like that, I sort of agree on some of his takes on Twitter and the censorship that goes on there. But there is a line when it comes to if you're actually threatening someone on it or you start an insurrections per se, that maybe that a company doesn't want that kind of language on their platform. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm kind of on the fence on that one. Like, yeah, these social media companies do have a right to control what's on their platform. Mm-hmm. Whether it be censorship or not,
Facebook does it. Yeah, you can go to Facebook jail for posting certain things.
Yeah, you can't say, you know.
We've had several friends that have been in Facebook jail for like a week or whatever their punishment is.
Yeah, you can't say the other term for vanilla garbage on Facebook.
Yeah, I got warned. I never got sent to jail because it was like my first offense, but they're like, this is not suitable, and I'm like, really? So then I had to like do some research. And yeah, there was people going off. There was this one guy, he's like, I proudly call myself white trash. And so I was trying to refer to my own self on Facebook, and I got thrown in Facebook jail for doing it. He's like, I've called myself that for years. So I don't know. And I've seen other stuff that they, you know, did let slide, you know.
Right, yeah, like some language is allowed on it.
I know, and I'm like, how is, if you guys are pissed off about the whole, like, white trash thing, how are you not mad about this? Like, this is worse.
Right. And to a certain extent, I guess, I don't know. You know, I guess companies are allowed to police, you know, their social media the way they want to.
Right.
You know, yeah. It's not, you have the right to say things. You have the First Amendment right to say things. There's certain things you don't have the right, like can't yell fire in a movie theater.
Right.
So yeah, there's certain things you can't do. You can't say, you know, you have a bomb on an airplane.
Yeah.
So, you know, but I guess if Trump wants to say some of his stuff like, oh, Hunter Biden's laptop, you know, and I sort of understand the argument with there where it was like certain social media companies took that down because it led to believe it was fake news, even though there was there was elements of truth to it.
They should at least make a claimer at the bottom of his tweet or whatever that says this is completely false, like, or this is his opinion. These are not facts. You know,
Right.
Why can't they print something like that off when somebody has to
Right. Well,
air their grievances?
Facebook does have that fact check thing on it, but then they go, well, who's the ones that are doing the fact checking here? You know what I mean? So then they have that argument. But that's like, just get back to the AI thing really quick, is when you can make these pictures and manipulate voices and stuff like that. Like, wouldn't it be plausible to get Joe Biden saying really horrendous things and then put it out in a campaign ad, even though stuff Biden never actually said?
I don't know. I don't know why they have. I don't know who decided that technology would be a good thing, you know, to be able to fake people,
Elon Musk.
fake real life people.
It was Elon Musk. That's why he's a supervillain.
Oh, I didn't realize he's the one that came up with this.
I think he owns the Chat GPT thing.
Oh,
So, right there. There we go. I called it first. Elon Musk, supervillain. He's going to leave this planet and leave us all behind.
he's like that Pinky and the Brain, that mouse that's like the real evil one.
Yeah. I like Dr. Evil.
Yeah.
I bought Twitter for $1 billion. $5 billion. And I laid off 80% of the staff. And now we can't fact check anything because we don't have any fact checkers left.
But that's the way we like it. Because we can make up whatever we want people to believe.
All right. So I'll probably cut this one early because neither one of us are feeling super great this week.
Plus, we have food to eat.
We have food to eat. Finish this sour. But we will talk to you next week. And we got some exciting stuff coming up in the near future on this podcast.
Yes.
We would tell you about it, but this is AI generated, and we didn't punch the info in on what these updates are.
Right?
Yeah. So, bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.